Trap, where we have monthly themes to talk about our favorite taboo subjects. We have our hosts, me, Jordan, and my co-host, Tack. How are you doing?
I'm the tack one. How are you doing?
I'm pretty well. I just got my nose re-pierced today.
Oh shit, you did.
Yeah,
Damn. We've
and
been we've been video chatting for a few minutes and I didn't even notice.
yeah,
You're so handsome.
wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I been waiting to get it done. I got it pierced, and then I had to take it out for surgery, and then it healed, and then when I got it redone, they fucked it up. So I had to take it out, and then here we are, the third time.
Hell yeah. Did it hurt more because of scar tissue and shit?
I actually didn't really have any, surprisingly, and the woman piercing was pretty surprised too, because they stuck. I think it's called like a bone stud in, and you're not supposed to use those like ever.
I'm a bone stud.
Yeah, and so um, that's what they used, and surprisingly, I don't have a lot of scar tissue.
I just got back from the gym and I'm really hungry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mine's not as cool as scar tissue.
Yeah, sorry. I cooked for my roommate and that was,
What'd you make?
I made hamburgers with some sloppy, soppy sauce on it. Burger sauce.
My
Yeah.
favorite sauce
Yeah.
consistency.
We're glad you can join us for this episode. This month's theme is Nickelodeon. Let's kick it off with a favorite. For this episode, I'm going to be talking about a very close and personal favorite of mine, SpongeBob. What are you going to be talking about?
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, man, I'm so excited to be talking about SpongeBob. I'm coming in hot with, I did a ton of research on the infamous alleged pervert, Dan Schneider. But I would also love to just throw up a bunch of info about Are You Afraid of the Dark? Because I did quite a bit of research on that, but I didn't take notes about it. I was just having a lot of fun reading about it. But I got a whole shitload of dirt on Dirty Dan Schneider.
I'm in for it. I hate that bastard. I don't even know what you have on your list. So.
Understandably so. Like, yeah, I'll get into it when we get into it. But who wants to go first?
Honestly, I think you could go first.
Okay, cool. Sweet. That means I have no pressure because my notes are unorganized, but so am I. So, all right, Dan Schneider. I would ask what you know about him, but I'm afraid to do that because if you know more than I do, then I'm going to look like a real fuck ass here. So, I'm going to kick this off by saying Dan Schneider, he is known primarily as the writer of Drake and Josh, The Amanda Show, and iCarly, among a plethora of others, which I didn't write down, but a lot of my notes are in the form of screen caps on my phone. I should also know that I got most of my info about him from a YouTube video, which was uploaded by someone named Blame It on Jorge. That's Jorge. He had most of the dirt, and then he cited a bunch of other references. I did some BuzzFeed stuff, but it didn't have as much juice as Blame It on Jorge dug up. Okay. Anyway. So some of the other shows that Dirty Dan Schneider has worked on are, let's see, there is Victorious, Game Changers, and Sam and Cat, and I think Drake and Josh and Manitou and iCarly are the big ones. But if you Google Dan Schneider, the first thing that you're going to find is his foot stuff. There's I should underline this fact that all of this is alleged or from anonymous sources unless I say otherwise. The Not to bury the lead, but the most finite proof that we have of anything Dan Schneider has done wrong comes from his parting of ways with Nickelodeon, which it coincidentally happened right when a lot of these allegations started coming to light. So it's difficult to say if him parting ways with Nickelodeon was because of that, or if it's because since iCarly, his shows have been doing like kind of like exponentially worse in terms of ratings and like viewers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like after iCarly, his shows just got like half as many views, and then half as many views, then half as many views. And Nickelodeon parted ways with him very, it seems like peacefully, and gave him like fucking $7 million. They officially said, "We thank Dan and his Schneider's Bakery producers, executives, and social media team for their immeasurable contributions to Nickelodeon, and we wish them the best in their future endeavors. And Dan Schneider and Schneider's Bakery are proud of the work they did together with Nickelodeon and will always remain big fans of the network." Um, it's very like formal. Like you can tell that came from some PR executives. But some examples of like the foot stuff, which as like kids and even kids as actors on the show, it didn't seem nefarious at first. It just seemed
Yeah.
like, for kids on a kids public television show, um, foot stuff is kind of like the farthest you could go for like dirty humor is like, toes and feet and stuff. But in like one of the first episodes, if not the first episode of Victorious, uh the main actress, she's like pouring ketchup on her feet, and there's like a bunch of close-ups of like toes and ketchup and stuff. And then an online web series that he did called Cat's Random Thoughts, Cat of Sam and Cat fame, there's like a large segment of her putting her foot in her mouth and like sucking on her toes and shit like that.
That's a big thing in iCarly as well.
That's what I've heard.
A lot of the episodes in that have weird feet shit going on in there.
Another one of the actual direct quotes that we have is from the actor that played Gibby, I think is his name.
Yeah.
I've only seen like one episode of iCarly, and it's when my son was watching it, and that had some weird shit in it in itself. But during an interview, Noah Monk, the guy that played Gibby, he was on the record as saying, none of it seemed, uh, like none of it was jumping out at the time. But he said, now that I'm older, like it was definitely, there was some weird shit going on. I have Noah Monk's Gibby directs quote right here, and he said, "Nah, I don't dot dot dot." And I never observed, like, saw anything like that or got hints of that. So it must be baseless rumors. But I don't want to speak. Like, what if some shit comes out? I don't want to be on record saying like, no, no, no. You know, I have no clue. So it seems like he's kind of covering his ass by being like, I didn't see anything, but I'm not going to say that nothing happened.
The actress that plays Sam, and I'm not sure if Miranda Cosgrove has made comments about it, but I know that I can't remember her name. I believe it's Jeanette McCurdy, and she
Jeanette
played Sam.
Mccurdy.
And
Yeah.
she has been speaking out a lot about like her troubles being a child in, Hollywood and doing TV. And she talked a bit about Dan Schneider.
Yep. I have a bit about Jeanette McCurdy.
Oh yeah.
Did you know that before she even quit iCarly, she started pursuing a career in journalism? And she's actually written a bunch of articles for the Wall Street Journal and Huffington Post and stuff
Really?
like that.
I did not
Yeah.
know that.
She started writing for them in 2011, and she was on iCarly from 2007 to 2012.
Hmm.
Um, but she's gone on record and saying that her work with iCarly, or at least her work under Dan Schneider, she's ashamed of it, and it was like embarrassing. Like she has a difficult time even talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't think she's actually come out and said specific, uh, prosecutable things against Dan Schneider. Just that it seems like she's not going to be doing television work anymore. And she's attributed a lot of that to how horrible it was working on like iCarly or Sam and Cat. She actually shared a Vine. Again, this is like entirely circumstantial speculation, but she shared a Vine, or at least a short video of like, this is what it's like working on a sitcom, and she was like covered in bruises, and she didn't say what those bruises are from.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone's jumping in the fact that she was physically harmed during the show of it, but it's just at least we know explicitly that she's had a huge public outcry about how terrible it was working on that show. Now for the tea of like stuff that we do know, and that is one of the first big things that we have that you can follow the paper trail of is in 2013, Sam and Cat, their Twitter account was it called for a public thing of any fans write. Oh my god, what did they have to fucking write on their foot? I don't know. I should have written that part down. But it was a big thing of like asking girls to write something on their feet. I think it was write Sam and Cat on their feet and post a picture of it on Twitter with the hashtag Sam and Cat Saturday. And like a fuck ton of people were essentially like sending Sam and Cat a ton of pictures of their feet. And there's like, if you look through Dan Schneider's Twitter, you can find so many others about like foot stuff or foot related stuff, or like asking fans for showing actresses' feet. And his Twitter is it definitely doesn't help his case at all. But we have some anonymous sources.
Mm-hmm.
There was one of a young actress who I should also point out that she made this phone call to a podcast called Revenge of the Cis, CIS, and it sounds like a podcast I wouldn't listen to personally. But she called in Revenge of the Cis and told them about how she was a child, or an aspiring child actress in 1997, and her mom would like take her to the mall for auditions and stuff. And eventually, she got a manager and an agent to help her book commercial or book roles in commercials and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2007, her agent flew her out to LA for an audition where there were like 200 kids. And some of the Nickelodeon like agents and stuff, they handpicked 40 of the ones that they were interested in, like primarily, I guess, the charismatic ones. And after they picked those 40, they like brought them in the back room, and all 40 of those kids were asked to take their shoes off and run around barefoot, laughing and essentially just talking about how much they love being barefoot for Dan Schneider. And this anonymous caller's mom thought it was like so fucked up that she pulled her from the audition, and because of that, she's been blacklisted from any further acting careers, at least from that agent.
I wonder if we should like list a link to this video in the description after we post this episode. Like,
Yeah, yes. I'll send you it so we can put it in the call notes. There was, let's see, there was another one of an anonymous actress that said, fuck it. I don't want to go looking for it right now. There was another one of an anonymous actress that said that oh my god, before even getting into that, I should get into Brian Peck. Do you know who Brian Peck is?
he sounds related to Josh Peck.
Oh my god, I wonder if that's I didn't see any connection there. But in 2002, there was an article that Brian Peck and Dan Schneider had a comedy camp, a comedy boot camp for child stars. And they were separated from their parents, which is already a little bit
Sus
as fuck. In 2004, that same Brian Peck was arrested and went to jail for 16 months for a bunch of charges of sexual misconduct with someone under the age of 16.
No fucking way.
Yeah, that was Brian Peck who ran that camp with Dan Schneider. And after Brian Peck got out of jail for those charges, he went right back to work on a show called The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. And the person that came out and like spoke against Brian Peck and got him in all that trouble was an anonymous victim, but according to public reports, it was an anonymous victim that had worked on the Amanda Show, which Dan Schneider also wrote for and worked with Brian Peck. Yeah.
That's usually how it goes, though. It's usually like a person enabling another person, or like, that's the business in general. Like, it's not what you know, but who you know.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. Yeah, dude, that's so fucked up, man. Like if Brian Peck was taken down and he was a writer on the show, I'm surprised that there were no like actual deep investigations into Dan Schneider. And if there were, maybe we don't know about it. But yeah, Brian Peck, some fucked up shit, and that didn't stop him because he went on to fucking work with Disney on Zack and Cody, which he wasn't allowed to work directly with the kids. But there, I saw a clip from a show. I don't know if it was from Zack and Cody, but in one of the shows, Brian Peck voiced a talking mirror, and there was a clip of one of the young actresses holding up a dress to the mirror, and the mirror was talking to her about she should wear that dress because it makes her look like a piece of fruit. Really fucked up and gross. There was another, speaking of camps for child actors and actresses, there was, from another anonymous source, there was an acting class camp thing for people from ages 13 to 22. At least that's the age range that this anonymous caller was from. But at this camp, there were like different activities and stuff that they could do, whether it's like specifically the ones that she gave examples of were the tennis courts and the swimming pool. And she was told that if you want to get like picked up by agents, the agents hang out around the swimming pool. That's where.
No fucking way. Fuck.
Guess who got picked up from hanging out around the swimming pool at that acting camp?
I don't know. Who?
Yeah, there's infinite guesses, but Megan Fox and Hilary Duff both got picked up at that acting camp for people aged 13 to 22 around the swimming pool.
There is stuff of Megan Fox in a lot of her interviews and stuff. She's going famous because of TikTok right now. So a lot of her shit is resurfacing.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
There's a couple videos of her talking about what it was like being underage on sets and stuff. And she mentions some stuff about Michael Bay. I can't remember what it is, but she mentions some other like producers that she had worked with and some of the weird shit she had to do, or like some of the stuff they thought was appropriate, like in a movie as an extra. She wasn't allowed to. It was like in a like a nightclub or something, and they originally wrote her in to be like holding alcohol, but she wasn't 21, and so they couldn't do that, and she was 15. So what they thought to do with her as a 15-year-old was for her to basically wear like I think she said she wore like a bikini or like a see-through shirt, and she had to get wet and like be all.
What the
like,
fuck? How is that even allowed? That's
yeah, like that's worse than the alcohol. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
That
She talks about this. I'm pretty sure it's on like Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel. She talks about that.
That's fucked up. I know people that do like online sex work stuff where they like sell pictures of them in wet shirt as sex work, let alone an actress being like 15 and told to do that. That's sketchy as fuck.
Yeah.
Another anonymous thing I found was this person said, I grew up in LA and was a extra on the Amanda Show a few times. Dan Schneider paid me $100 once just to tickle my feet. And
What? Back the fuck up.
yeah, this is anonymous. They've actually deleted their account from Reddit after posting this. But before deleting their account, someone said, "Oh, cool. Wait, what?" And then someone else said, "You're going to have to elaborate on this." And they went on to say, to make a weird story short, in between takes, Dan asked me if I was ticklish, and I said no. Then he bet me $100 he could make me ticklish. I was expecting him to reach over and tickle me under my arm or something like that, but he led me to his office. I basically got paid to receive a foot massage and a lot of compliments.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, not only is it just kind of weird, but it's like, even as that message goes, like, it just, as it keeps going, it's not what you expected. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing. There's so much circumstantial evidence against him that, like, without the full picture, you know, I mean, even all the anonymous things are, that's not even circumstantial evidence. Some of this is just borderline, like, prosecutable if it wasn't anonymous and they took action against it. Kira Davis wrote an article for the Red States where in the article she said, I'm just going to quote this whole thing. She said, completely independent of this story, I happened to be chatting with a former child actor over a week ago. We were discussing Weinstein, and she told me that in her youth, she worked on one of Schneider's shows very briefly. She told me my friend was molested by that man on set. Everyone knew it. No one said a word. So we, that's at least Kira Davis said that one of her friends that worked on the Amanda Show was molested by Dan Schneider. I don't think anything's come of that allegation. Obviously, I mean, since Nickelodeon just gave him a fat fucking $7 million, and then Dan Schneider went off the radar with his wife. That's a big thing too. Is that although there hasn't been any like direct action from anybody speaking out against Dan Schneider for, like in the justice system at least as far as we know. Dan Schneider hasn't come out and publicly said anything about any of this. There's one more big thing I want to get into before I move on to something else, which there's also a bunch of internet conspiracy theories that Dan Schneider would be the one that got Jamie Lynn Spears pregnant at 16. But
what?
apparently there's no proof about that. I found a couple quotes about that happening. This is one of them, an anonymous quote from someone that there's a blog called Crazy Days and Nights, which I believe is the whole point of that blog, at least, was from someone that claimed to be a Hollywood agent. Again, a lot of these are anonymous, but this is what that article said regarding the Jamie Lynn Spears pregnancy.
Yeah.
He said, I don't even know how you define what list someone is when they are on some ensemble show watched by teens and preteens, so go with the above and make her a female. Make her pregnant, which is causing the producers to have a heart attack because they really don't know any more scandals, or they really don't need any more scandals. But wait, there's more. One of the producers who was old enough to be her grandfather shouldn't be having a heart attack because of shock, because he is the one who knocked her up. New boyfriends are being lined up as we speak. So, again, probably just an anonymous conspiracy theory. But the big one I wanted to get back into is there's another anonymous source that went by the moniker him with 4 M's. After some internet sleuth detective work, a lot of people think that him is Robert Downey Jr. based on the connections that him has said that he has, from all the people that him has claimed working with or being close to. You could do that Charlie Day thing where he like draws a map of strings and stuff.
Yeah.
And, it's fucking Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Anyway, him has said regarding Dan Schneider, quote, he's a monster, the worst predator alive. And if you wonder why nobody will confront or charge him, he's in charge of multiple hit shows for Nick, which rakes in oceans of money. tens of millions of dollars multiplied by many years and many shows, not to mention his merchandise and royalties. So Viacom Nick warned him to cool it and then pay for his damn lawyers. But what about the parents? No tweener parent who shoved their kid into the limelight from birth is going to cross him either and risk career suicide and loss of revenue and residuals in future career. No matter how bad it fucks up the kids, especially if there's multiple kid actors in the family, and the kid agents are complicit too. Just ask the Spears family. A lot of settlements get paid out of Viacom's accounts. Yeah, so that's that's what we got regarding Dan Schneider. At least that's what I got. If you go on YouTube, everyone and their mom has a conspiracy video about Dan Schneider because since there's so many anonymous sources, there's theories out the ass. But that's
I wonder if there's any way to track down whether or not he had a heart attack from that one anonymous.
Like the producers having heart attacks because of the scandal.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I'm assuming that's a figure of speech, but he's a large dude. Like I don't think anyone would be surprised if he had a heart attack.
Yeah, but the connections though.
The connections, man, and it's one hell of a rabbit hole with a shitload of allegations. Anyway, there was one bit that I wanted to speculate on as well regarding Dan Schneider to close this out with.
Okay.
What is the one thing that you have? Because I'm assuming you've seen Drake and Josh, iCarly. I've seen.
I grew up watching Nickelodeon, so
Yeah,
a lot of his shows.
Yeah, I kind of phased out of Nickelodeon right around the live action sitcoms. Other than Good Burger and all that, that was more my jam. It was kind of like pre 2000. Yeah. But I remember watching Amanda Show and kind of like, I don't know, it's not driving with me. So I think that's kind of when I turned out from it. But one thing that I would like to point out that is notoriously obvious with everybody Dan Schneider has worked with is that all of them have feet. Think about it.
Do you think he would hire someone that like has lost their legs?
Absolutely not.
You don't think so?
No way, Jose. If he did, they would probably be portrayed as a villain. He would write a lot of, or they'd be the Jerry Gergich of whatever show they were on.
Yeah. Oh, good old Jerry.
Yeah, he would write them to be the bane of the other characters. That's my opinion, though. But
so for the listeners here, Jerry is a character from Parks and Rec, a favorite show of ours, and 10 out of 10 recommend that you give it a watch. It's pretty similar humor to The Office, so if you're into that, it has Amy Poehler and
Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
I mean, no, Nick Offerman.
Yeah. So it's Nick Offerman and
Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, Aubrey Plaza's in it.
Oh, Star-Lord.
Chris Pratt is in it as well.
Chris Pratt, yeah. Rob Lowe. What's that guy's name from Step Brothers that played Derek?
I know.
He's so fucking handsome. You got Aziz Ansari in there.
Yeah, Aziz Ansari. Oh, so good in that.
That whole show's fucking great. But anyway, yeah, go on. Because Jerry
10 out of 10 recommend. If y'all like The Office, you'll probably like Parks and Recs. But Jerry Gertrude is just, he's a gem. He's heaven sent. So
he's just to like elaborate on the context. He's a sweetheart. He's the most wholesome character in that show by far, and either because of that or alongside that, everybody shits on him every chance they get.
Yeah.
He
takes a chant too because he's such a great guy.
Oh my god, there was, not to go off on like a tangent, but my favorite Gergich moment is from Parks and Rec. They had everybody come up with your idea for a new parks project, and Gary came in with some I don't know, it was like some contraption, and he was like, "All right, guys, not to toot my own horn, but I think I came up with renewable energy," and he sneezes on it. And everyone's like, ew, Jerry, you're gross, you're stupid, get out of here, Jerry. And they just like dismiss it and push him on his way.
Oh man. Oh, I have to see if I can rewatch that
Oh,
because
it's so fucking good.
it's such a favorite of mine.
He has a heart attack, and his character just can't stop farting during the heart attack, and that
Yeah.
almost gets more of a focus than his actual heart attack. God, it's so fucking good. It's so fun to just everybody shits on him.
Well, speaking of favorites, I thought for this episode I'd talk about a very close and personal favorite of mine, SpongeBob.
Oh, fucking moody.
SpongeBob's just very nostalgic. Like I am always quoting SpongeBob consistently. Like anyone who knows me, you know that I love SpongeBob.
I know you love SpongeBob.
You know, my sister's always been a big fan of it. My sister's 14 years older than me, and so she's been a fan of the show since it came out, and she was like in I think her late teens when it came out, and so we've always bonded over SpongeBob, her and I.
I feel that because I know Ryan really well, and I know it specifically from like because Ryan's been one of my closest friends for many years. The early SpongeBob definitely has that kind of like Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's
Yeah.
Modern Life type of humor. Like it
Yeah.
was funny as fuck, regardless of what age you were. It is the hardest I'd ever laughed at a show was the No Pickles episode.
Yes, no. So I quote that all the time at work. I work at Rev Robin in the kitchen as a cook, and if someone fucks up the set on a burger, we'll go like, "No pickles," like, and like swing the set back to them so that they get it correct. But I thought I would talk about because you know a lot of people like SpongeBob and they just watch it to pass time or whatever, or even if it's a favorite, they may not realize how low key progressive it is. And I kind of collected some of the stuff that SpongeBob is really progressive about, but they did it in a subtle way. And I've noticed a lot of like very religious parents don't let their kids watch SpongeBob because of these reasons that a lot of people don't. I don't know, as kids, like they didn't pick up on as being super progressive because they're young, but there's a lot of like shit in SpongeBob that is just it's so well done. So let me dive into SpongeBob.
Yeah, I don't know any about this.
So SpongeBob SquarePants, also referred to as SpongeBob, is, for anyone who doesn't know, an American animated comedy television series created by marine science educator and animator Steven Hillenburg for Nickelodeon. The series chronicles of the adventures and endeavors of the title characters and his friends. Is basically in a fictional underwater city, Bikini Bottom. And it also, fun fact, is the fifth longest running American animated series.
No
And
way.
I'm not sure what the other ones are, but that is something that I learned when looking into SpongeBob. Um, Many of the series ideas originated from the intertidal zone, an unpublished educational book that Hillenburg created in 1989 to teach his students about undersea life.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Really quick, what does intertidal zone mean? Do you know? I don't know what that means.
That is the name of his book.
Oh, okay.
But I've heard theories that it's actually based off of a real zone
Oh, cool. Okay.
that was like affected. I don't know how much this that I'm saying right now is correct, but I heard it's actually based off of an area, like the characters and stuff being able to do that they do from an area that was affected by the radiation from an atomic bomb near Japan.
Oh, fuck. I have heard that theory before. I love
Yes.
that.
So, and it makes sense, collaborating with that. But yeah, he started the idea of SpongeBob from this educational book that he created to teach his students. He began developing SpongeBob into a television series in 1996, following the cancellation of Rocko's Modern Life. And in 1997, a 7-minute pilot was pitched to Nickelodeon during that time. So,
I wonder if it's on YouTube.
yeah, so that's when he turned to Tom Kenny, who had worked with him on that series, to voice the title character. And that's where that kind of began. They originally were going to name SpongeBob Sponge Boy, and call the series SpongeBoy Ahoy. But apparently, both of those were changed as the name was like already trademarked for something, but not really sure what.
Speaking of the name of SpongeBob, really quick, I don't know if you know this, but I wanted to tell you regarding SpongeBob. Two of my favorite names for SpongeBob around the world are in Norway. He is Svampebob.
Okay.
And in Japan, he's Supunjibabu.
I can't remember what it is in German. But listening to SpongeBob in other languages is like a total fucking trip.
Oh my god, it would be so funny. I'm gonna do that one of these days that I'm in a state of mind to watch something funny. I'm gonna put SpongeBob on in German and watch it.
It's so good. I've watched a couple of that, and it's so much better because it you have the hard consonant sounds from German, so it just really plays into like that stereotypical super aggressive.
Yeah,
I watched a little clip where SpongeBob is literally strangling Mr. Krabs for something, and he's just screaming German at the top of his lungs. It's super fast and harsh, and I was like, this is 10 times better than like the English version.
Oh my god. I need you to link me that when we're done. That sounds so funny.
I totally will. It's like 10 seconds long too, so.
Yes.
But
yeah, anyway, go on.
All right, so let's get into how low-key progressive this show is. I got my notes here to read off because I didn't want to forget anything, because it really is, guys, this is one of my favorite shows of all time. Anyone that knows me, I'm always talking about SpongeBob and how great that stuff is. And I think people don't really realize how great it is. They just kind of pass it off as being this kid's show, but it's so anyone can watch it. It's so good. So, first of all, one of the most important ones, especially with an issue now, us being, U.S. citizens, and the problems that we've been, experiencing with our economy, fast food employees make a living wage and are able to not only support themselves, but live comfortable lives in nice homes.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. That's so true.
Yeah. So, they all have their homes and stuff. They also have time to, partake in hobbies. SpongeBob's always jellyfishing, and Squidward's always playing the clarinet or painting or just doing whatever he wants to do. And I love that is a depiction that happens in the show, because it's not something happening in the US. Reason number 2, the title characters often reject traditional toxic masculinity, instead choosing to embrace kindness and gentleness, love of nature, and desire for worldwide happiness. I know in one episode, when there's an episode where SpongeBob brings in some jelly from a jellyfish, and he puts it on a Krabby Patty. And one of the guys there is like, hey, can I try that? And then when he tries it, he freaks the fuck out because it's so good. And he starts singing. And Mr. Krabs finds out how fucking great this jelly is. So he makes SpongeBob go hunt all these jellyfish. And he actually makes a factory, a corporate factory, to juice out these jellyfish. and, like, use them and then toss them aside once they die from using them. And
Yeah.
it's funny because one of the jellyfish that escaped takes SpongeBob to show him what he had done unknowingly, collecting all these jellyfish without asking, no
I
question.
remember this episode.
Yeah, to Mr.
Yeah.
Krabs. And when the jellyfish pops off the lid, he's like, ew, what's that smell? It smells like corporate company. like, makes fun of how shitty corporate companies are to the earth and, like, animals. 3, religion and science coexist. Neptune exists within the show as a deity, and yet people like Plankton and Sandy are acknowledged for their scientific genius. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
such a
shit.
big one,
I
especially
never even thought about that.
yeah, like, that's such an important one to have, and especially, like, maybe I guess if kids are raised in a religious household, maybe they could try, like, showing those episodes to their parents to be like, hey, like, this show isn't, like, it's acknowledging religion and stuff and can coexist with science. I don't know. I think that's another great way to, like, show, being an accepting person,
Yeah.
a child, to, like, teach them, that people are different and they have different beliefs from you, and that you can still be a good person to them regardless of that.
Yeah.
And 4, the most prominent female character on the show is an immigrant with genius level intellect and superior athleticism, who easily keeps up with and even outshines her male co-stars. Like,
I
Sandy
remember
Sandy's
Sandy's OP.
ripped as fuck. And there's several episodes where she's shown, like, outstarring, like, all these other male weightlifters. They're like bodybuilders and they're at the beach and they're weightlifting, and she just, like, shows off her shit. She, there's one episode where she talks about being from Texas and from land, and
Yeah.
people make fun of her for that, and she just whips their asses, like, mercilessly.
Something else really cool about Sandy too is she's not only the only land mammal that's living under the sea, as
Yeah.
far as I can remember, but she also has seemingly built her own habitat to accommodate for that. Like, she's always wearing
Yeah, again, like,
an
genius
astronaut suit.
level
Yeah,
shit,
she's smart, by far the smartest one on that show, by
Like,
far.
such a great representation of, like, feminism, and, like, for, young, I guess, like, what is the word I'm trying to think of? Like, I guess female presenting
Yeah.
children,
That
and that align with femininity. Like, that's such a great, or even for young boys, like, an example,
I like, one of the best examples I could think of is, like, as far as, like, kids on the playground, if any of them, if they were like, if there was a group of them playing SpongeBob and they had to pick what characters they were, I'd say anybody that picks Sandy, male or female, is gonna portray her character as being the most reasonable, the smartest, and also, like, the most capable of doing, like, anything.
yeah, like, it's just the count. I can't. I'm sorry. I get so.
No, you're making a really good point because I've
Like,
never thought about it like this before.
I love SpongeBob so much. Like, so low key progressive as fuck.
She's also, I'd go so far as, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she's the only main female protagonist in the show. Not protagonist, but the only, like, regular cast of characters. Because you can't really count Pearl or Mrs. Puff because they're not in all of them at all. Nowhere near as much as Sandy. But
Yeah,
yeah, like, the one, like, recurring female character is the boss bitch of the show.
yeah, yeah. You're right. Actually, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. I think she is only, like, the continuous, like, character that shows up.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right. There's also, and this is one of my favorites, and it's such a great episode, a whole episode dedicated to same-sex parenting dynamics.
No way. What is
that
that one?
that is Rockabye by Valve, and it's season 3, episode 8, and it's the episode where they basically take in this baby, like clam, and are
Who takes it
raising
in?
it. And SpongeBob is basically portrayed as a mother figure who cooks and cleans and takes care of the child, where Patrick is seen as a father figure. And I know the listeners can't see me, but I use quotations when saying
Yeah, the
that
bunny ears.
because the
Oh,
whole
that's a
idea
good point.
is same sex
True.
dynamic. You know, it's not a mother and a father, but both these male characters, um, raising this childlike character together.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorites. And I think it also portrays, like, not even on that end, because SpongeBob is portrayed as like a mother like figure. Throughout the episode, he's doing everything: cooking, cleaning, taking care of this baby clam where it cries, changes his diapers. Like, literally, in the episode, he's got like 10 arms and he's cleaning while taking care of the kid and feeding it. And then Patrick comes home and he's just always too tired to do something. And I always thought that was a great representation of, like, that being a mother is a job. Like,
Yeah.
like being a parent is a full-time job. It's not a part-time job. You don't get to just like clock out and go home from it. Like, it is a 24-hour, every day of the week, every day of the year job. And it's just as important. Like, I thought I'd add, like, being a stay-at-home mom isn't worse or better than being a parent that works.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember that episode because I remember Patrick wearing the shirt and tie,
Yeah. Yeah.
and him like sitting on the chair and complaining about what a hard day he's had, and it's very much like that like almost 1950s like family dynamic.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say it's kind of fucked up that they're showing like the in quotes father figure being the one that like comes home and is like complaining about his day. But you're right, it is super progressive in the fact that is SpongeBob a male character playing like the mom of it, and like it still fits that same trope. And yeah, it's damn, you're making me realize how fucking progressive that show was.
It's
Never thought about it.
here we go. Oh, like I was saying about the corporate company, um my reason 6 I put here: emphasis on environmental protection superseding industrial greed. So again, Jellyfish Hunter, the episode I said, season 2, episode 8, if y'all want to check that out, it's one of the best ones. If any of you know the quote, best time to wear a striped sweater, that is from the episode when the guy starts breaking out in a number, singing about how great the jelly is. That is the episode, and it has such a huge emphasis on, corporate greed.
Yeah.
And oh, love it, love it, love it. Um,
God, you're making me want to watch SpongeBob again really bad now.
all right, women rejecting traditional femininity being the default and also embracing and excelling in masculine activities. Again, Sandy, and she's really smart, buff, but she kicks ass in karate and building
Yeah.
stuff. I'm gonna add building stuff. She's an excellent builder. Like, she could just build stuff. Excellent chemist, biologist. Like, just a well-rounded, like, jack of all trades, but almost master of all, for real. Like,
Yeah, she's OP, man. Like, I wonder if they were using it as a dynamic in the show to show how shitty everybody else was.
yeah.
Or like, yeah,
It has, I can't remember these episodes that these were, but I took notes. Season 1, episode 11, and season 3, episode 6, for women rejecting traditional femininity. I can't remember exactly what those episodes are about, but I know they have to do with Sandy. They have to. Another one, I know this isn't like, this is kind of not really a stereotype anymore. But I remember it was a thing, and I still hear it sometimes. But I want to point out that Mrs. Puff is a driving instructor, and there was a very long stereotype that women didn't know how to drive.
Yeah.
And SpongeBob
Oh, that's a good
doesn't.
point.
He's awful at driving, and Mrs. Puff knows how to drive. She's a driving instructor and a teacher. Like, you know, um, she's also kind of hardcore. Like, she takes a lot of shit while in class. So,
Yeah. She God, I remember like one of the funniest parts of that show is just like the contrast of her being so fed up with how shitty SpongeBob was at driving.
yes.
It was some of the funniest moments.
All right. Oh, yeah. Normalization of adoption and single fatherhood. Um,
Gary?
They are talking about, yeah, I guess Gary, but Mr. Krabs is a single dad to Pearl.
Oh yeah.
There is no, Mrs. Krabs. He's a single dad.
Do you know if it ever says what happened to Mrs. Krabs?
I
She
don't
was
remember.
probably a shark.
Yeah, probably. But there's all these episodes when Pearl's in that, like, Mr. Krabs talks about how much he loves his daughter. Like, he cherishes her daughter. And he's always, like, giving her money and stuff so she can do stuff. She, as quote, loves her daddy. Like,
Yeah.
there is a fan theory, though, that he's actually, like, a sugar daddy for her because she's always fucking asking for money whenever she's in an episode with her father. And so that's a fan theory that went around.
I don't love that.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, she is not a crab, and she is very clearly in like high school that whole show.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we don't need to. That's a fan theory. We'll
Yeah.
put that one. We'll shove that under the rug.
Celebration of different background species living in harmony and depiction of problems that arise from completely homogeneous communities. Like episodes where harmony of different species, like the episode with the bullworm, where they have to figure out how to like save their town from like this bullworm that's going around.
Yeah.
And like when I don't know, other ideas. Let's see. The band, when they come together for their band and they play together.
Oh, the most iconic moment.
Yeah.
That fucking petition for them playing the song that their band plays at the Super Bowl.
Yeah. We also have, there's like, when SpongeBob accidentally gets a hold of Mermaid Man's belt and he shrinks the town, and they're pushing it to try and like fit it in a better suiting place for all of them for whatever reason. And like they end up being too small for like they end up being, he like shrinks the city but not the people, and they're like, how are we supposed to like move now? And he was like, I have an idea, and he shrinks them all so that they're of size of their town again, and they're like, I guess this isn't so bad. Like, and last point on here is one of my favorites, especially recently with the troubles I've had with work, and I think goes to show something that's really highlighted after like people going back to work during a pandemic in COVID, is the Krusty Krab employees unionized and went on strike. And it actually, like, I can't remember what happened, but it actually, like, made a difference on what was going on. They got something out of it. But they...
Oh my god, I remember that too.
They went on strike because they weren't being treated fairly. And they were being overworked. They weren't getting breaks, treated with respect. Does this ring any true life bells to you like it is with me that I was really just complaining about this yesterday night on the phone with a friend who also works for the same company that I do. But like I totally forgot about that, and then when I was taking notes, I was like, oh yeah, like this fucking happened. Like it's a great example of that. So
better times.
Those are just some notes I took on low-key progressive SpongeBob moments and all like that good shit that the show shows. Like
I loved it. Well, you definitely lit a Svampy Bob fire under my ass.
a Spongebob.
Svampy Bob. That was fucking great. Wow. I have a feeling that tonight I'm gonna see if I can find where to at least watch the early seasons of SpongeBob. Do you know where you can watch it online?
Yeah, so it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay, cool.
So you can watch it on there. I think sometimes they have deals on it where you can watch it for free or you can buy it. I mean, not to brag, but I have the first 100 episodes and SpongeBob favorites and the movie, the first one. So all on DVD.
Hasselhoff.
All on, yes. All on DVD.
Fuck yeah.
Because it's so good.
Damn. That's awesome.
Fuck. Do you
Not
have a
to
favorite episode from them? Like, do you remember a favorite episode?
Oh my god. Yeah. Other than pickles, specifically the scene where Mr. Krabs goes to check on SpongeBob because he knows that him forgetting to put the pickles on the burger broke his brain, and he goes inside and SpongeBob's bicycle is in a pot on the stove.
I literally have a screenshot of that. I have a whole album on my phone dedicated to SpongeBob screenshots.
That's and specifically that scene where Mr. Krabs goes to see how SpongeBob is doing, and he's boiling his bicycle and then nailing toast to the wall with a hammer and nail. I had never laughed so hard that I cried that hard at a show in my life, and it was because of that moment in that episode. That's what I'm looking forward to the most, rewatching it. And I mean, and their big band spiel when like SpongeBob comes out and he's singing with clearly not the same voice actor's voice unless that guy is not human. But it's so fucking good.
I think it's so hard for me to choose like a favorite episode, but I think my favorite would be literally season 1, episode 2. So the first episode, SpongeBob meets Sandy as she's beating the shit out of this big ass clam because it's trying to attack her, and they become friends. She's like, "You can come and visit anytime." And because the first episode, like the first early couple seasons, it's like 2 episodes in one. So that was like the second half, I believe, of the first episode. And the second one, the first episode of the first episode, quotation marks, is
because they're like 2 parts per episode.
Yeah, he goes to visit Sandy, and he's nervous because she's a land animal, and Patrick is like teaching him that he needs to be fancy and stuff. And I think it's a great episode to show like pride can really fuck you up if you let it control you, because he goes in there forgetting that he needs water to breathe, and she lives in this dome full of air, and he refuses to ask for water, and she doesn't realize that he needs water, so he's like, I don't need it.
Some of the most iconic screen caps and gifs of SpongeBob are from that moment.
And then like, he's like listening to the ice clanking in like this water, and then he just screams, he's like, I need it. And like Patrick's like, you don't need it, SpongeBob. And he like walks in because he's like, it can't be that bad. After like he opens the door to get water, Patrick goes in there with him, and he's like, come on, I'll show you. And literally 2 seconds into walking, he starts panting hardcore. And then he drops to his knees. And I have 2 screenshots of this one scene. It's my favorite fucking scene in the entire series. Is Patrick does, like, his cone gets soggy and it just droops. And he's on his hands and knees. And he, like, is like, ugh, like he's just drained. And then he looks up and behind, like just searching for mercy from any god that exists. Like he's so desperate to be saved.
God, I can't wait to watch that again. fuck, I love that scene too because as I think that's the first scene where the show goes into like, you know, high definition animation of how fucked up SpongeBob looks from
Yeah.
being all like dry and crispy. Like it's ultra detailed and just disgusting. Like that SpongeBob looks how my lips feel when they're at their most chapped.
Yes.
And it just makes you feel away. Like
it really bothers you.
yeah, fuck. Oh, damn, that was so good.
Another show that I really liked as a kid, and I thought I would tie it into the Dan Schneider spiel.
Yeah, really quick before you get into that. Speaking of my Dan Schneider spiel, do you know if we have that recorded still?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have it.
Oh, thank God. I was worrying about that while you
No.
were explaining how progressive SpongeBob is.
No.
Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Fucking tornado warning.
Yeah.
All right, let me get really comfortable really quick because now that is a huge weight off of my shoulders. I was worrying about that. Let me just get back down here. Okay, yeah.
So
Talk to me, Daddy.
Zoe 101. I'm going to just kind of describe what it is for the listeners if they don't know. So
I don't know.
You never watched that show?
Nope.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to go into this. I'm going to start off by saying that this is the TV show that Jamie Lynn Spears starred in.
Okay.
And so this is basically like her show, you know.
You said Dan Schneider also wrote or worked on that one?
He was a producer on this show.
Okay.
And yes. So basically, for anyone who doesn't know what Zoe 101 is, and for TAC, the premise of this show, it's a series that centers around Zoe Brooks as she enrolls in Pacific Coast Academy, a school that previously was only allowed boys to attend. And throughout the series, Zoe and her friends navigate life as teenagers in a boarding school. As the series progresses, the group of friends grow closer together. And it basically is like any other teen show. It's kind of similar to, I guess, like Zack and Cody. You know, there's going to be like some romances and like drama involved.
Generally a comedy, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, cool thing about this, it was initially filmed at Pepperdine University in Malibu, California, which is a real university you can attend.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
And I think it's a little expensive. I saw some TikToks. Yes, I'm really into TikTok for any listeners listening. I'm a huge fan.
Drop your handle.
Some person, I'm not putting that out there.
Okay.
But there was a person making a TikTok about how they attended that school because they loved that show, and they found out you can go to college there because they watched it as a kid. They went there and they actually found out that apparently the university is kind of shitty. So spoiler alert. But I guess it's like not the best place to go to school. But I guess if you're more into aesthetics, go ahead and apply. But it's also a religious-based Christian university. So that's
there we go.
And you like Zoe 101, you can totally look into going to school there. But then at certain stages, the beginning of season 3, it was filmed in Valencia. So they like replicated the whole boarding school and everything at Valencia. I actually couldn't find anything as to why. Maybe it had to do with the university being real and they just couldn't. I don't know.
I don't know.
They changed locations, so that's a fun fact. And another fun fact, it was nominated for Outstanding Children's Program Emmy in 2005.
No way.
Zoe 101 was the most expensive production ever for a Nickelodeon series, as it was shot completely in a location in Malibu. Obviously, before they replaced it, the scenes in Valencia. Here's where it kind of gets weird. Is Jamie Lynn's brother um, was a producer, co-producer with Dan Schneider for this show.
Interesting.
So he's actually both Jamie and Britney Spears' older brother. And I kind of looked into the Spears family with that, which is a little weird. I'll get into that in a minute, but I just like I couldn't really, find anything weird per se about the Zoe 101 like film cast and stuff, like any weird stuff that went on set with Dan Schneider and stuff. I actually didn't really find anything involved like that. Although they do have some, again, Dan Schneider being on it, some weird feet shit in some of the episodes. So
Oh my god, of course.
that's and Victoria from Victoria Justice and was featured in that show. She became a main character eventually, and was in that show.
So is that show Victorious like a spin-off from Zoe 101?
No, that's a
Okay.
show.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, as far as I know, just like a clinky dink on that.
Yeah, it's a cool name.
Yeah, but so I thought I'd dive into the Spears family and in the moment of what's this sensation going around on social media. If y'all are been keeping up on that, the Free Britney hashtag,
Yeah.
and everything that's going on that, and I thought I'd just kind of dive into it, and what's
Hell
going on
yeah.
with that. But so let me just kind of talk about the Spears family real quick. Like,
Hit me with it. I need to know.
We have the two most known, Britney Spears, Britney Jean Spears, and Jamie Lynn Spears. So their mother's name is Lynn, and their father's name is James, nicknamed Jamie Spears. So that is literally Jamie Lynn's name. Like, she is just named after both of her parents, and I believe she's the youngest. So that's a thing, and they have their elder brother Brian Spears, and they
Wow, for being the older one, he kind of got the spare parts in the name department.
yeah, he did. So I looked up some stuff on Britney Spears, and I thought I'd kind of just share some stuff about her, and then maybe dive a little bit into the Free Britney movement as we go through some notes I took on her and how her life came to be to this moment right now, where she has had these court cases involving her father and her sister and brother as well. So Britney Jean Spears was born December 2nd, 1981 in Macomb, Mississippi, the second child of James Jamie Spears and Lynn.
Second to Brian.
Yeah. And the second, Brian was their first child. And so literally first diving into these notes, it got pretty sad. Her paternal grandmother, Emma Jean Spears, where she got her middle name from, committed suicide when her father James was 13.
Holy shit.
And on the grave of James's infant brother.
She committed suicide on the grave of his infant brother?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah, literally from the jump, everything I noted from her was fucking crazy. About her.
Holy hell.
Yeah. And then, so her maternal grandmother was born in London, and one of Spears' maternal great-great-grandfathers was Maltese. So that was kind of interesting. Her siblings of course, like stated, are Brian James and Jamie Lynn. They were born in the Bible Belt, where socially conservative, evangelical, uh, Protestant. Sorry, I can't pronounce it. What is it? Protestantism?
Yeah, Protestant. Oh, I don't know. Protestantism.
Yes, is a particularly strong religious influence. She was baptized as a Southern Baptist and sang in church choir as a child. As an adult, she has studied. Correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but Kabbalist teachings. Am I saying
I
that
think
correctly?
that. Yeah, that sounds right. I've heard
Um,
that before.
and so, um, I kind of have a jump in here. That's kind of her background, and then I kind of took some notes on a timeline of her life past that. And
Yeah,
then it is that. Sorry, my stuff is kind of spread out here.
you're good. I literally had a tornado fuck everything up.
Yeah, sorry. um. So, she was in. I had something erased in my notes here, and I can't find it. That kind of upsets me. Um,
Oh, we can always chop this out.
yeah, basically, there was a quote from Rob Sheffield of Rolling Stone. He said that Britney has a demand for satisfaction and is complex, fierce, and downright scary, making her a true child of rock and roll tradition. And
Do you have
she,
any examples?
it says that it was related to "Oops, I Did It Again," her
Oh,
album.
I thought you were saying "Oops, I did it again," as in like you lost some notes.
No, sorry. So that was with that album. And then um, I don't know why there were so many of my notes just missing here. What the hell?
Wing it, make shit up.
I do know. So there is something it just wasn't added in. She was trying to do like TV acting and
Hmm.
like entertainment. She wanted to do that when she was young. And she was entered into like like voice acting for something, and I can't remember what it
Hmm.
was when she was a small kid. Um, and that's just kind of how her.
I know she did Mickey Mouse Club shit.
Yes, when she was younger, she did that as well.
Yeah, with
Um,
Justin Timberlake.
yes. So she also did that with, I believe, Christina Aguilera.
No way.
Yeah, and I believe she was in this whatever the voice acting for a show was. She was in it with Christina Aguilera and Justin Timberlake, and I believe that's how they met. I don't know
Cool.
if that how true that is, but so her and Justin Timberlake ended up dating, and it ended after 3 years. In December 2002, Timberlake released the song "Crimea River" as the second single of his solo debut album. And the music video actually featured a Britney Spears lookalike and fueled the rumors that she had been unfaithful to him. As a response, Spears wrote the ballad every time with her backing vocalist and friend Annette Artani, which I believe she had also met when she was a child for like voice acting and stuff. But
I didn't know there was like a diss war between them. That's
yeah, so there's actually like some stuff that goes into it, and There is. I couldn't find much on that exactly, like I wanted to, but
It would be a rabbit hole to go down, that's for sure.
yeah. So in August 2003, Spears opened the MTV Video Music Awards with Christina Aguilera, her friend, performing like a virgin. And halfway through, they were joined by Madonna, with whom they both kissed. So,
No way.
yeah, so that was
Oh, fuck.
great queer representation early on from her.
Yeah.
And in 2004, Spears fell and injured her left knee during the music video shoots for Outrageous. She actually underwent a surgery, and she was forced to remain and in a thigh brace for 6 weeks, followed by 8 to 12 weeks of rehabilitation, which caused the her Onyx Hotel tour to be canceled. And just the thought of that, like all the shows she did after that, dancing and performing after having knee surgery and stuff.
That's impressive.
Yeah, like, you know, and a lot of people like to say that she can't dance, and it's like, I don't think you've actually seen Britney Spears live in a TV show. Like, she literally was the poster child for like pop performance and live dancing. Like, she was
for like a whole generation.
Yeah, she was it, you know. And 2004, Spears became involved in the I do not know if I'm saying this correctly, the Kabbalah Center through her friendship with Madonna.
I think it's Kabbalah.
Kabbalah, yes, yes, correct. Sorry, guys.
Got you.
And so I believe it was during her knee surgery when she started becoming addicted to drugs. Because
that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, medication she had to take during her surgery. And so during January 2007, her aunt, whom she had been very close to, died of ovarian cancer. And that February, Spears stayed in a drug rehabilitation facility for less than a day. The following night, she shaved her head with the electric clippers at a hair salon in Tarzana, Los Angeles. And that is where those famous photos come from.
Do you, if you are going to dive into this, stop me, but do you know the at least purported like reason why she shaved her head?
It kind of gets into that, not exactly per se like that, but you know, I'm gonna chalk it up to be, you know, all the stress and stuff that she had been going through. And
I heard, so really quick, I heard it was because they were gonna drug test her, and when you drug test the hair, you can drug test a lot farther back than you can with urine. So regarding her drug testing, right before she had that drug test, she shaved off all of her hair.
You know, I think it might be more related to like
kind of a snap.
Yeah, snap, or like her aunt just died of cancer, you know?
Oh,
like,
yeah. Yeah,
like,
that's a good point.
Literally,
solidarity.
She shaved her head the next month after a person she's very close to died of cancer. And,
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But after she shaved her head, she admitted herself to other treatment facilities during the following weeks. So, you know, let's see. In 2007, Spears lost physical custody of her sons to the father, Federline. The reasons of the court ruling were not revealed to the public. Spears was also sued by Louis Vuitton over her 2005 music video "Doing Something" for upholstering her Hummer interior in counterfeit Louis Vuitton cherry blossom fabric, which resulted in the video being banned in European TV stations, which is like just more shit, to add to her life.
Damn, I wonder who fucked that one up, because I doubt it was her that did a counterfeit upholstery in her car.
Well,
But
you know what? Her father is like her management. It makes big decisions.
yeah,
So it
I
could
would.
have been very well his fault because he was managing over her life. Um, 2008, Spears refused to relinquish custody of her sons to Federline's representatives. She was hospitalized after police had arrived at her house, noted she appeared to be under the influence of an unidentified substance. The following day, Spears' visitation rights were suspended at an emergency court hearing, and Federline was given sole physical and legal custody of their sons. She was then admitted to the psychiatric ward of Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center and put on a 5150 involuntary psychiatric hold under California state law.
The infamous psychiatric hold.
5150 is like code for like batshit crazy. And she was held under California state law. Like,
okay, I know that's the topic for like quite a lot of maybe conspiracy theories, because I don't know, everyone like I know that her big case right now is that she's still treated, that she's unable to manage all of her shit by herself.
yes. So I get into that. It's coming. It's actually coming
Yeah.
pretty soon.
Hell yeah.
So right after that, the court placed her under a conservatorship led by her father, her sister, and their attorney Andrew Wallet, giving them complete control of her assets. She was released 5 days later. Oh, you know what? Since this happened, maybe, you're right. I wonder who did fuck up the Louis Vuitton thing, because I don't know how much her father and brother were involved in her management. I know that they had been involved, but that was when they got like legal, ruling over. Yeah. And so January 4th, 2019, Spears announced an indefinite hiatus and the cancellation of her planned Las Vegas residency after her father, Jamie, suffered a near fatal colon rupture. In March 2019, Andrew Wallet resigned as co-conservator of her estate after 11 years. And it didn't state whether or not why. He just resigned, is all I found.
Juicy.
And this is what kind of gets me. So a documentary about Spears' career and conservatorship.
Conservatorship?
Yeah, conservatorship.
Conservator?
Wait, what am I?
You're putting emphasis on the con when it's just a quick conservator.
Conservatorship.
There you go.
Conservatorship. Framing
Got it
Britney
in one.
Spears. Yeah. Premiered on FX. Premiered on FX in February 2021. So, just this year. So, before I get into later of this, I have not seen the documentary. I plan to, and maybe I'll talk about it next episode and everything from this. But I wasn't, from what I can, what she states here, I thought that this documentary was kind of like in her support. But from what I gathered here, Spears later revealed that she had seen parts of the documentary, stating that she felt humiliated by the perception of her that was presented, and that she cried for 2 weeks following the initial broadcast. And the following month, Ignam filed a petition to permanently replace Jamie with Montgomery as the conservator of Spears' person, setting a 2014 order that determined that Spears did not have the capacity to consent to medical treatment of any form. So,
fuck. I can see how this is some muddy waters.
Yeah.
Because whether or not she had the rights under the conservatorship to even protest it.
So I'm really curious to see what this documentary says about Britney and how it portrays her, because, you know, from what I gathered, she was just very devastated about how the documentary portrayed her. And, you know, maybe because I haven't seen it, maybe it's just kind of like, I don't know, the thought of like seeing it on television and reliving it, or people knowing everything, you know, even though she's famous, but, you know, the thought of everyone knowing her life now,
Yeah.
you know, the dirt on it. But the fact that there was a 2014 order that determined that she did not have the capacity to consent to medical treatment of any form.
That's fucked up.
Which,
that's like some shit you hear about from like the early 1900s.
Yeah, which means she could be on medication that she doesn't need, and she cannot say no to being on any medication and any other treatment, like any like, let's just say, for example, like electroshock therapy or some shit like that. Like, she would not have the legal right to say no, that she doesn't get that treatment or something. Just anything, you know, like,
God, what a fucking nightmare.
yeah, or like, imagine if it was like, I can't remember what time period this was, really like a lobotomy. Like, if this was a thing when that was still happening, like, she wouldn't be able to say no to that. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, I have to. Maybe this is just hoping, but I'm like 99% sure that they stopped doing that in our generation, at least. But holy fuck,
Like that,
that
or
would
like
be nuts.
just like any medical treatment, or like, let's say something happened where she got ovarian cancer too, just like her aunt or whatever. You know, she doesn't get to decide the treatment on that. Her father does,
Fuck.
and her
Damn,
sister.
who knows what kind of hell she's been through?
Yeah. So it says, let's see. June 22nd, 2001, shortly before Spears was set to speak to the court, the New York Times obtained a confidential court document stating that Spears had pushed for years to end her conservatorship. Spears spoke to the court on June 23rd, calling it abusive and revealing much more about the state of the situation. And it says, Britney said, speaking to the court, "I've lied and told the whole world I'm okay and I'm happy. If I said that enough, maybe I'd become happy. I'm in shock. I'm traumatized. I'm so angry, it's insane. I'm scared of people. I don't trust people with what I've been through. It's not okay it's not okay to force me to do anything I don't want to do. I truly believe this conservatorship is abusive. I don't feel like I can live a full life." As Spears spoke to the court, various celebrities shared their support for Spears on social media. And as I read these, I want to note one of these people that is in here. And I know you'll know who I'm talking about, but I thought it was a little sus it was in here, because I had gathered that this person was a little, had their place in kind of fucking up Britney's shit in her life. So, you know, these celebrities I list are people that share their support, you know, Free Britney, Cher, Christina Aguilera, Madonna, Mariah Carey, Brandy, Halsey, Tanashi, Liz Phair, Rose McGowan, Justin Timberlake.
Wow.
Yes, Kathy.
Full circle.
Yeah, Kathy Griffin, Khloe Kardashian, and Elon Musk. Surprisingly,
Bro.
yeah. And collaborator Iggy Azalea expressed her support, but also stated that she had to sign a non-disclosure agreement and expected Jamie to sue her if she intended to break it in any way.
Holy fuck.
So the court statement got widespread media coverage. obviously, it's all over social media. Generated over 1 million shares on Twitter, over 500,000 messages using the tag Free Britney, and more than 150,000 messages with a new hashtag referencing the court appearance, hashtag Britney Speaks. And just a little fun fact to add in at the end. I can't remember why I put this at the end. I think I wanted to add it in as a note, as like I guess an uplifting thing about good for her. But in the United States, Spears became the youngest female artist to have 5 albums debut at #1, earning a place in the Guinness World Records, and she still holds that place.
Damn.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on all of this?
We still don't. Nothing's like come of it yet, right?
Actually, I forgot to add. She actually won her court case against her father.
Okay, I heard about that, but and you might know more in this, but I thought that meant that she was no longer in a conservatorship. But apparently, it just means they're looking like, since her dad has stepped down, that position's still open for somebody.
So the person that took it is her representative.
So that's a good thing, right?
Yes,
That's a win.
Yes, I can't remember who it is, but from what I saw, it was a very good thing, and from what I saw of all the posts of it, it's someone that she trusts, as far as I know.
Fuck yeah.
And I forgot to add in here in the notes, Britney Spears' boyfriend at one point, I cannot remember his name, but he had spoken out about how controlling and scared he was of Britney Spears' father. She wasn't even allowed to ride in a car with him and do stuff. And she was very controlling over their relationship. Like, they couldn't do certain things. He was very aggressive with Spears' boyfriend and would threaten him. So not too sure what that was about.
Yeah, wow.
But I know that her boyfriend had stated, and there's record of him, that he was scared of Britney Spears' father, and he was basically a very intimidating man towards him during their relationship. So, another thing to add, because I know she said in court as well that she was very scared of her father, and kind of reason why it took her a while to speak out about what happened. But another thing, her and Jamie Lynn are, as far as I know, not really on good terms due to this whole court case that's been going on.
So is Jamie then siding with her dad, I would assume?
Yeah, so I can't remember what it was, but there was an Instagram post where Jamie was upset about something Britney had done, and it was very implied but very clear. Britney had made a post after that, literally referencing to the same exact thing that Jamie had quoted in her caption for whatever she posted, and basically was saying that her sister was mean and an ass. So
wow.
civil,
Damn.
just sibling arguments on the internet about that. But I know that they have been fighting publicly on social media recently. So,
Damn.
yeah. I haven't seen anything about their relationship with their brother, so I don't know anything about it.
Brian's out, man. He's like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no.
Bye. Delete my number.
And I haven't seen anything more about her mom involved in this, but I mean, just
Provided that everyone's scared of Jamie Spears, I would imagine her mom is pretty quiet for her own safety.
It's just, I don't know, it makes me so sad. regardless of whether or not, in truth, Britney is not fit to make decisions for herself,
Mm-hmm.
the situation that has arisen and her life being publicized to everyone, especially after what happened with her aunt and her shaving her head
Yeah.
for whatever decision that was, and everyone made fun of her for it, and she was mocked. And I think everyone deserves she deserves an apology from everyone.
Yeah, especially since after that she got that 5150.
Yeah,
So
court, law ordered she have to do that, and hasn't been able to have a say over her own body and stuff. I know she stated in, I believe it was a tweet. It was either a tweet or Instagram post, but she stated that she had been on medication that she did not like. It made her not feel well. She had been wanting to get off of it, but legally was not allowed to stop. I am not sure what the medication is, but all I know is that she had stated at one point that she just was not comfortable taking this medication as long as she had.
I would be surprised if it was anything other than lithium.
See, that's what I was gonna say. I think it might have been lithium as well. I don't know if she's still on it. I'm pretty sure she got off of her medication.
Yeah, like everyone I've known that's been on lithium, it's like a mood stabilizer that essentially kind of fucking lobotomizes you.
Yeah.
Like you'll just go through the movements and not feel shit. Like no personality.
There's just so much that has happened. I remember seeing all over the internet where there was a live award show she was performing at, and she did not feel well. She actually had a fever of 102, and she kept saying she did not want to perform, but they forced her to. And it's a video that goes around showing that people mocked her for becoming fat and all this stuff, and she couldn't dance. She looked upset and not I guess coherent. And a lot of people chopped it up to her being, mentally ill and being on meds, when she actually was very sick, and she had mentioned several times she did not feel comfortable performing, but they forced her to.
God damn.
Yeah. And yeah, Britney deserves an apology from everyone, for fuck's sake. Even, I don't care who you are, you deserve to give Britney an apology.
Yeah.
She does not deserve that. Justin Timberlake, if you're listening to this, you should apologize to Britney Spears right fucking now.
I thought I've heard somewhere that he said that they were cool now, but that I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know anything on that. I didn't, catch any notes for that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe not.
Well, I thought I would add in,
Mm-hmm.
at work, this kind of reminded me on the topic of this. We do little trivia at work, and my friends and I there do this little game where we do "What song are you?" And I thought we could share with each other what Britney Spears song you think you are.
Oh my god.
And why.
Me first?
I mean, if you want time to think, I can go first.
Don't need to. Unnecessary.
Okay.
Toxic for sure. That's my favorite Britney song. Not really pertaining to the subject matter, but that song is so fucking everybody will throw the fuck down.
Yeah, I remember seeing
that
the
is
music video when I was
sexy song.
Yeah, the music video when I was 2 or 3, I was just so hypnotized by it because it was so different from other music videos on MTV. And I remember it clear as day the first time I saw that music video. And I felt I remember it because I was so young and I was watching it. And she makes out with the guy in the plane and the other guy.
She has that red spandex suit.
Yeah, but she was wearing a flight attendant suit that's super revealing. And I remember feeling nervous, I was gonna get in trouble if I was caught watching it. But the song was so good.
You're toxic, come slipping under. Oh, my body shakes.
I think I would probably be circus. And the reason I say that, and it's kind of sad, but the
Because you're
reason
really good at trapeze.
um, I say that is because I'm queer and I grew up in a very, like, don't ask, don't tell town, being like
Yeah,
one of the very few out and loud queer people.
for sure. Like
And,
it happens to. What's up?
like I was just ostracized since elementary school from my peers. And I don't know. I think that that's a very.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the song Circus, but context clues, that's fitting as fuck because, it's a damn good thing that you're now thriving somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because,
But there's like, let me look up the lyrics real quick. Like, there was like something else that, obviously the beat goes and it's always playing at every fucking drag show I go to. But like,
did you just have to throw your dog away?
no, he wouldn't stop pitter pattering on the ground, so I had to lift him onto the couch so he would stop
I
making noise.
It looked totally like you were just throwing something away off the ground after snapping at your dog.
I
Gotta put him down.
no, I lifted him on the couch because he just was not jumping up. He was making too much noise in the background.
Yeah,
And
I didn't know you had a dog.
really?
Yeah, I thought you just had cats.
No. Hold up, let me look up the lyrics to this real quick.
Yeah,
The first
come slipping on.
Literally the first two lines was just like, there's only two types of people in the world, the ones that entertain and the ones that observe. And, you know, it's not necessarily profound, but like it's so true. Like,
Yeah,
like everything. And even from a perspective, I kind of like when I heard those lyrics, I thought of it in a way of like, like two types of people, that they are go-getters or other people that just let life happen to them. And they
yeah.
don't try to make
Damn,
their own experiences. They just,
it's so crazy how like I feel like most people I can think of fit into one of those two categories.
yeah. And I think that fits me because, she talks about being an entertainer, and in the perspective of how I put it, like, I really try to grab life by the balls. I got some pretty hefty goals in my life, and you know, I don't really like being the type of person that just lets life happen to them.
Yeah, you're proactive, not reactive.
Yeah, so I thought that was a good reason
Yeah,
I beat that song. So it's kind of hard for me
I
to
love it.
choose, but
It's fitting.
yeah,
I'm really glad that you didn't go with "Oops, I Did It Again."
yeah. No, our baby one more time or whatever that song is.
Oh, oh God, I can't believe that was a song. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that was
forgot all about that.
album. Yeah. Um,
Whew.
there were some other songs I was gonna choose. Toxic was one of them, but I was like, nah. Like, I think Circus pretty much. I think other people would agree, especially if they knew me in high school, that like that would be, you know, like,
I think I might go down to Britney Hole in Spotify.
you definitely should. She's got
Yeah,
some good shit on there.
hell yeah.
So you know,
Thanks. Now I want to watch Britney. Nope. Now I want to watch SpongeBob. Listen to Britney.
um, but yeah, that's all I had for this episode.
That's dope as fuck. We certainly got a girthy episode in.
Yeah, we sure did. But I wanted to pay my respects to Brittany, especially talking
Yeah,
about
hell yeah, dude.
Nickelodeon.
Especially, yeah. I mean, no one, no one can say that like they didn't grow up with Nickelodeon and not say they also grew up with Britney. Like
Yeah,
peanut butter and jelly.
damn.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. I
Yeah,
learned a whole lot.
I enjoyed this. This was good. So
Yeah, I'm really happy with how that went. Yeah, no, this was fun as fuck and a dope as hell first episode.
yeah. Well, thank you all for listening. Catch us next time on Bees in the Trap. Oh, we do have a Bees in the Trap email. We will put it in the description, and
Yeah,
maybe message us. Tell us what Britney's song you are.
yeah. Or also too, like if anyone like wants to throw us an email, um, our next episode is also going to be Nickelodeon because that's fitting in the August month. If we have time and we get it, I would totally do like a mini dive into whatever topic someone wanted to send in, and then next month, if anyone wants to email us regarding stuff involving Asian cultures, that's going to be the September.
Yes.
I mean, we'll be recording it in September. Who knows when like this will be out? But yeah, if this comes out before September, uh, hit me with some cool Asian topics that would be fun to, dig up some dirt for,
Yeah. Hell yeah.
rant about.
Well, this is great.
This is Booze in the Trap. Oh my god, I've been thinking a lot about this. Uh, my favorite dreams that I ever have are I'm in a backyard barbecue and I'm introducing friends I've had who have died to some of my current heroes that are at the barbecue. So, if you were having a similar dream, who would you be
I'm
introducing to
sorry. What's
who?
happening in the situation?
And in this dream that it's my favorite dream I have. It's like a recurring like a won the lottery type dream. Is I'm at a backyard barbecue and my friends who have died are there as well as my current heroes. And I remember in one of these dreams I had, I was introducing my best friend growing up, Travis, to my favorite rapper at the time, Earl Sweatshirt. And it was the coolest dream because like in my dream I was like, oh hell yeah, man,
Yeah.
like thought you were dead. It's dope as hell you're at this barbecue. Come
Yeah.
here, you gotta meet this guy Earl Sweatshirt who's at my barbecue too. Cause we're homies.
So who would be at my so basically any friends that have died and then my heroes.
Yeah, like imagine introducing someone that was close to you that died to one of your personal heroes. They're both at the same barbecue.
I mean, I can already think of a couple people. I had a okay, yeah,
You don't have to answer. I mean, if you don't want to, but that was just a fun thing I was thinking about earlier. That would be a fun drop off question.
yeah. I guess listeners, if you have an answer to that, you can email us. The Bees in the Trap email will be down in the description. Let us know what you think. Catch us next time. Bye.
Bye.